Hello humans, welcome back to my makeup room. Today we're going to be talking about all of my favorite products from 2019. Where are they now? Do I still like them? Have I begun to loathe them? Did I finish them up? All that and more. I have a little list of all of the products I mentioned in last year's video. I'm just going to go through them and talk about them. I'm probably not going to show them all on camera because that's a lot of digging in my collection. But I will put a picture so you'll know what product I'm talking about. And first we're going to talk about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. This one is the foundation I'm currently trying to use up. I'm at least halfway done, I'm going to say. Maybe. I'm going to say I'm halfway done. So this foundation I tried last August, I want to say, whenever it launched. Was it 2 years ago? No. It came out in the summer. Anyways, I got the shade 110C, which turned out not to be a cool foundation. It was very yellow. So what I've done is I've put it in a little airless pump and I've put some color correcting items in there to make it a little bit less yellow. And I loved this foundation last year. In 2019. Would I still say it's my favorite foundation? No, I would not. I do still like it, but I find it a little bit... I find that it doesn't last the best on me. Now, I was really loving wearing this in the summer, not setting it, nice and dewy. And this year, of course, it's very different. We're wearing masks. Foundation rubs off. I have to set it or it literally will not exist on my face anymore. But I do still enjoy it. It's just not my absolute favorite. I think it's definitely been replaced. Sephora did have a sale on it at one point in time for like half off. And I did buy a backup of it, but I bought a different shade. I bought 110N, which I definitely think is my actual shade match. So eventually I will get around to finishing that one up as well. But this is my oldest foundation and I'm just trying to use it up right now. So I don't hate it, but still not my favorite anymore. Next, we're going to talk about the Sigma Eye Primer Stick Eye Primer Base, Eyeshadow Primer Base in the shade Ignite. Now, I used this as a primer and I used up the whole entire thing. I loved it. It gave some pigment. I do wish it was like a touch lighter because it was a little dark for me. I'm very, very fair, but I loved it. It canceled out any colors on my lids from veins or discoloration, what have you. And it was a great, great base for eyeshadow. I'm trying out some other ones, but I am tempted to get that one again. I would still say that one's my favorite. Next up is my MAC Extra Dimension Blush in Beaming Blush. I do believe. Okay, fine, we'll check. Alright, it's Into the Pink. Extra Dimension Blush in Into the Pink. Now I've made a good little wear pattern on here. The embossing is definitely no longer on here. Do I still like this blush? Yes, absolutely. This is a beautiful glowy blush. However, glowy blush is not my favorite at this current point in time. I'm enjoying a little bit more of matte blushes, but that is my favorite formula to go to when I want a glowy blush. So not my favorite anymore, but still a good choice. Next we have the Natasha Denona Superglow Highlight in the shade Fair. I still love this highlighter. I haven't gotten to use it a whole ton because I've been trying to hit pan on a lot of highlighters, but I wore it the other day and it is still absolutely beautiful. If I had to pick a highlighter in my collection, I would probably pick that one as my favorite, because it's reflective, but it's also a really good shade for me, and I do think it's quite lovely. My favorite powder last year was the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm using it right now. I'm trying to work on this, and I only have about this much left. I've been really letting myself use it. I was saving it because it was expensive. And I didn't want to blow through it, but it's getting older and I think it might be the oldest powder I have. And I decided it was time to let myself use this powder, and I can always repurchase it. So this is a lovely powder, and when you use it, you don't even need that much, which is good because it's very expensive, but I do still love this, and I would say it's my favorite loose powder. The lipstick formula I shouted out was the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine. I do have one. I have one here. This is not my go-to color, obviously. This is 920 Lacquered Strawberry. Definitely a summer shade, but you'll be able to see here, it's just a nice glossy lip color. And I do still really like the formula. I don't know if I can say it's my favorite formula anymore, because I've discovered that even though it feels nice and moisturizing, it is a little bit drying on your lips. So it's just that nice glossy sheer color, which is very pretty, but if I wear it for a couple days in a row, like reapplying it, my lips do get a little bit dried out. So it's not my absolute favorite anymore, but still an excellent formula, I feel. The Colourpop Supershock Highlight in Flexetarian I also threw in here. I don't think I'd had it for very long. If you want an icy, blinding, pale highlighter in a cream formula, that's the way to go. I have actually hit pan on mine. There's the proof. I have a good little pan. Oh, still nice and creamy. This is still a beautiful highlighter. I will say I'm not as in love with my cream highlighters as I was last year. Again, masks. But if I were to pick a cream highlighter, I do think it would be this one. So still a favorite. Now, we can all have a moment of silence for the Bite Beauty French Pressed Lip Gloss. I loved that formula of lip gloss. I used up a whole Dirty Chai, and I used up a whole Flat White. Flat White I was kind of trying to save, but I ended up using it up, I think, within the past month or two. It's still in my empties drawer. I wanted to save it forever, but they discontinued that like over a year ago, so it was time to use it up. I'm glad I used it. I'm glad I got to spend time with it, enjoy it, and I am sad that you can't get that anymore. I don't even know if I have a favorite lip gloss anymore, because that was my favorite. I only have a new favorite lip gloss because I have to have a new favorite lip gloss. For bronzers, I selected two. The Fenty Sunstalk'r bronzer in the shade Into Sun. Still a lovely, lovely bronzer. And the Pure Bronzing Act Matte Bronzer in the shade Light. And I have pan on this guy. I do still enjoy these bronzers. I could probably categorize them as still favorites. They're definitely up there in my collection. Do I have a new favorite? I might have a new favorite bronzer for the summer, but for the winter, these guys are great. I also mentioned the Marc Jacobs highliners. I have the shade Grapevine and Whirlpool, a plum and a turquoise, plum, a deep purple. And are these still favorites? I'm going to say no. I discovered a different eyeliner this year that blew all of the other eyeliners out of the water. You're gonna have to stick around for my favorite 2020 makeup video coming soon. Do I still like these? Yes, but are they favorites? Not anymore. My favorite lashes were the House of Lashes Siren Flare, and they're still a fave. They're beautiful. I'm not wearing them today because I didn't want to put lashes to cover up my cool baby blue eyeliner, but I did want to put them on today. But I thought they might be a bit much. The e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, still a good one. I used up my whole primer, and it's definitely on the list to consider repurchasing. I do still like that one. I have a lot of primers to get through before I buy a new one, but it could be that one. We have 3 more cream products. We have the Fenty Matchstick in the shade Amber as a cream contour. This, if you're watching my Project Pans, I'm getting through it. This is taking forever to use. I have no complaints. No complaints about this. I haven't tried very many cream contours. So once I finish this one, I would definitely probably try another one. Or just stick to my powder contours. Do I still enjoy this? Yes. Is it my absolute preference? Maybe not anymore. The Nudestix Cherry Blossom Bay cream blush, it's still lovely. However, I think I prefer the matte one. Again, with all the masks, we are powdering down, and I'm preferring a little bit more matte and a little less dew. So I wouldn't say that formula is still a favorite, but I might say that I just prefer the matte formula over the Nudies Bloom formula. Last up in the base category, we have my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. This is another product I've been treasuring. I'm gonna have to use it up next year. I still love it. It's still beautiful. It still looks fabulous. Still a favorite? I'm gonna say yes. But it's definitely getting up there in age, and I'm gonna have to use it next year. As for palettes, the palettes I mentioned as favorites were the Kaleidos Futurism 5, Kaleidos Futurism 4, Sugarpill Fun Size, Juvia's Place Tribe, September Rose Slush, and the Juvia's Place Zulu. I'm going to say I'm keeping 2 of those in as favorites, and those, of course, are my Kaleidos palettes. The Juvia's Zulu I have actually decluttered, just because I wasn't getting the use out of it anymore, and I have discovered shadows that I prefer. And the other ones, they're just not faves anymore. Eyeshadows, there's so many being released, so many new ones that you want to buy and try, and over time, especially with brighter color stories like I have, over time sometimes you just want something new and fresh. Do I still like those palettes? Absolutely. Are they my favorites? Not anymore. But I still do love them and use them. Alright, that's the end of this video. Stick around to see my favorites in 2020 video coming soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell to become a Pavlovian dog. See you next time.